Unfortunately, I'm gonna be the hater on this card. I honestly, I do hate cards like these.
80% of the people were playing the same freaking deck.
Welcome to WWB Worldwide Broadcast. What's up, guys? We're back with episode 28. Billy, I swear to God.
It's not me, dude.
All right.
We're good.
It's episode 28. We're back. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. You know, we're always trying to get the follows. We got another week award. It's me and Billy, the dynamic duo. How you doing, Billy?
We good.
Awesome. I think we're gonna start off with some of the upcoming tourneys. You know, we kind of left off the last episode of just like, ooh, not really sure what's going on, and unfortunately, the ward gods have blessed us with a couple tourneys right after. You know, we kind of said that like a couple days later, they're like, here you go.
Unfortunately.
Well, I said fortunately.
Oh, I can't. Okay, fine. I was listening very well.
It's all good. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, me, I don't know about you. Me, I'm always happy whenever I see any tournaments that are going on. So
I'm hype.
But yeah, so well, I guess for one of them, we can cover it. I'll start with there's a tourney at Globe that John posted. John in the Discord, he's the new Globe News owner, and so I was talking with him about his setting up a tourney. And like I said, I've been kind of going back and forth trying to get a hold of shop owners and getting more tournaments going, at least in our area. Just personally, as I've alluded to in a couple other episodes, like I do like the constructing, you know, bringing your own deck, and I just felt like we've been doing a lot of these there's been a lot of crack packs and all this stuff, and so me and John, you know, we chatted, and he was really happy to throw on an event, but basically it is a bring your own deck. It has, and again, like we were talking in the last episode, Billy, with formatting, it has both Swiss and a bracket put into it, so I'm really pushing for those kind of tournaments and just kind of seeing how they play out. And so anyway, that's going to be coming up on the 28th of September, so at the end of next month. So if anybody wants to, you know, get out to that, we'll definitely keep periodically bringing it up in the upcoming episodes too as we get closer to it. But just wanted to give him a shout out for that tournament. And then also, Billy, you said at the Curious Crow there is a tournament. Maybe you want to go over those details a little bit.
Sure thing. We'll see a post any day now. But September 20th, Curious Crow is hosting an official constructed tournament. However, Average Joe is the format, so common and uncommon only.
Okay.
The first official Average Joe tournament. So yeah, bring your low fodder, put it together, and smack it around. I'll be there for sure.
Okay.
I don't know the time yet, but probably 12 or 2, something like that. So, yeah, Average Joe, Curious Crow.
Average Joe and the Curious Crow. Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know what that is, it's common, uncommons, and so make sure that it's still 30 card deck. Basically all the other rules apply, but all you can have in your deck is common and uncommon cards. So I mean, it should be a fun format. I mean, Billy, yeah, if you're going to that, you're definitely gonna have to tell me how that plays out, because I mean that's the first, you know, in-person official Average Joe format that we'll ever see. So it's like, who knows what will be brought and what will be coming. I'm sure you'll be scheming a little bit on that one and try to make sure you got it honed in. I think there's a lot of uncommon creatures and even common creatures that I think could definitely be kind of like staples in that format. Like, as much as I know we had 1 week of games in our league with the Average Joe format, I think like going forward, like I think there's a lot of cards. Like after I was done playing, I was like, oh yeah, everybody kind of like hit a couple of the creatures. But I don't think a lot of people thought too much about a lot of the other creatures that are still in like the common, uncommon level, because I don't know, I think there's definitely some cool ability or like cool synergies with some of those cards, just with those two like rarities, I guess, that doesn't include like all the rest. So
yeah, I think there's I think at first I was like, there's not that many cards. There's only gonna be like one or two different types of decks. I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of variety and a lot of different creatures that can be played, a lot of different cards you can play together and you know, make it your own. So, I'm excited for it. I've been tweaking my Curious Grow. I've been tweaking my average Joe deck. Played a couple games here and there, even after the week format for
Right.
the Ward Bowl or I'm sorry, the WWB Summer League. Um, but yeah, I like the format a lot. I'm glad we're doing an official tournament. I'm excited to see what people come up with.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly I think they're like coming from like being at the top end playing Ward with like all the legendaries and these strong cards like trying to put your mindset in like that common uncommon. Sometimes like you're just like, oh, you know what this gives me? It's just such a different feel to Ward. It's like it has its own like atmosphere, like feeling. Like it's like this doesn't feel like I'm playing like a normal game of Ward, if you know what I mean. And so it's like I don't know. I do really like how much of a different feel I feel when I'm playing that, like just my thought process going into it and all those different things. So definitely very excited for that tournament. And like you said, I'm pretty sure you haven't got an official date yet. So again, one of those things that we'll kind of like as we go forward with WWB, we'll keep it or get it all figured out once all like the information comes out and keep everyone up to date. But again, let us know in the comments, or if you're in the Discord, make sure you shout out if you're able to make it to any of those tournaments, because obviously just getting as many people as possible. I mean, that's the whole point. If you are new and maybe you're in these areas and you look it up, I know a couple people were like, "Ooh, maybe I could make that drive and come to the tournament," and it's like, hey man, that would be awesome if some people get some new faces in our area that just come and start trying to play and get in. And again, they're both official tournaments, so. Or at least is the average Joe? Do you know that is going to be official? Okay, yeah.
It's
Good.
official, and it is September 20th. I just don't know the day. Or, I'm
Okay,
sorry, I don't know the time, but
gotcha.
it's gonna
So
be the 20th.
perfect. Like you said, we'll get that more information. But yeah, the 20th. But yeah, both of these tournaments will be official tournaments. So definitely, if you're looking to get up in the rankings, another good opportunity to do that. But with that, I think, like I said, we'll touch on those things as we go forward and with everything. But let's talk about our league. Everybody's favorite
Ooh.
topic. We're in the playoffs. Um, I think you were, Billy, you wanted to kind of have it, get all racked out in a little short time here. I know in my head I was like, ooh, are we trying to get everything done like this week? And so like I was kind of pushing a little bit and trying to get everybody to be like, here, like let's get our games in. Like, can we play this week and everything? And honestly, a lot of people were just like, oh, like I don't want to play too many games in a day, even though it's like not a whole heck of a lot of games. It's just the best of ones, but um,
Well, I
we
mean, it's minimum one a day, right? So you just, the most games that'll be played is by whoever goes first and second. You're playing three games, so you can fit three games in a week, and it's only 1 week. That's my kind of thought. And everyone else is one or two games. So
yeah.
I guess that's not true. First, second, third, and fourth had to play three games. So
And I hear you, and like I guess for me, it's just being a part of it. I mean, you'll probably talk about your game in the playoffs against Jeremy. I mean, obviously, I played Jeremy so far, but kind of was just waiting for the other side of the bracket. But I mean, it seems like they all got finished up, and where we stand right now, at least at this moment of recording, like it's me and Mish have to play the final game against each other. And so yeah, I reached out to Mish, but turns out we're both pretty busy near the end of this week, so
yeah.
I was like, you might want to reach out to Billy and just make sure that it's like, hey, we can maybe play
Oh
next,
yeah, yeah.
fit in the game next week. So
This week was a goal, not a requirement.
yeah,
I just didn't want to. I didn't want it to be like, okay, week one, play your one playoff game, and then week two, play your second. But that's just
yeah.
dragging on. I don't think that's necessary. It's just let's just roll the games and get it done, and we can pass out the prize and then call it a victory. You know what I mean?
No, it makes a lot of sense. But like you said, overall, I know we're still kind of experimenting with this first, league, like fantasy league, and like figuring that all out and kind of like seeing what works and what doesn't. So it's like, yeah, like I don't think anyone's upset about it. Like, oh, the time requirements and stuff. But like, obviously, I too, I just wanted to be like, yeah, let's get this all done. So then secretly, I was like, I want to talk about it. Have the whole wrap up on our podcast. But of course, it was like, you're trying to push people, and they're just like, yeah, I got my own life, I got my own stuff, and it's like, yeah, I hear you. It's like obviously the league was meant to be one game a week, so it's like to kind of ask for more. I feel like it is a little bit like, all right, I get it, but anyway,
I
so
think I think the learning for me is that for the next time we do the league is that it'll be one game a week, and then playoffs will be 2 games a week max, no matter how many people we have. So you do round
okay,
one, round two, and so like let's say this is kind of I'm just talking a lot. I haven't formulated any of this. Maybe like the next time we do it, Monday to Wednesday, you have to play your round one game.
mm,
And then Thursday to Saturday or Sunday, whatever, you have to play your round two game. And then Monday to Wednesday is the round three, in however many rounds there are.
yeah,
I'm just, I don't want it to be dragging. Just
right.
keep it moving and just, during the week is fine for like the regular game season, but I don't need the playoffs to go on forever, right? So
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I do think sometimes, though, I guess it just depends on how people do have their lives and their schedules and things. And sometimes it's just like, oh, these are the only time, maybe I can only play at the end of the week or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. Those are things where it's like maybe something we have to
yeah,
consider.
true.
And like you said, it's like maybe, like you said, it's like, here, can you get in 2 game, like I guess it'd be like that'd be a good thing to poll or reach out as just like the next time we do a
Yeah,
fantasy league. It's like, would people
maybe
be
it'd be a
fine
good
doing
idea
two
just to
games
talk to everybody, be like, hey, when can you realistically play your games? And we can just try to
Yeah.
figure it. And if it's one a week, it's one a week. But
Right. At the end of the day, it's all just fun, and if everyone's
yeah, this is
fine,
fun.
it's like if everyone's fine with it, it's like it's not like it's the end of the world. But I do know what you mean. At the end of it, you kind of just want to be like, all right, we've kind of like knocked out like a good chunk of people. It's like, all right, now we need to just let's find out who kind of like takes it home. And I totally get that too. Like I was feeling that too. It's like 8 weeks is nice, but we don't want this thing taken, like 10, 12 weeks. I don't think that's very
Yeah.
necessary because like you said, that's just a lot of time to be
Yeah, I
like
mean, it's
here.
first rendition. We'll figure it out as we go.
Hmm.
We'll improve on the next one and have fun. So
No, and I think that's always part of it is just having fun. It's like I'm sure we'll talk about even in our playoff matches. I think there was still a lot of fun to be had, even though I will say I meant in my experience, a little bit of competitiveness comes out of me when it comes down to like, all right, we're playing, like now this is like knock me out of the thing. I always get that little feeling of like competitiveness in me. Maybe you want to talk about your game though with Jeremy and just kind of
yeah,
walk through it a little bit, give us the anecdotal.
sure. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I played a Forgotten One deck, so I had lots of speed buffs, lots of ways to protect the Forgotten One, and lots of ways to get him out fast. Um, and it worked. I mean, it really worked. At one point, I had a Forgotten One with Ward United, 2 Celestial Powers, 2 Legendary Gloves. So that adds up with the creatures I sacked. It adds
Oh yeah.
up to 8 dice plus 62.
Do you want to
So it
do
was
you want to
swinging
tell
like,
yeah, do you want to tell them what the Forgotten One's effect is cuz I don't think we
yeah,
really
yeah,
covered
good,
that
good
card.
call. So Forgotten One is an AL 12. It's an AL 12 speed 10 HP 70. Its effect says for every point of speed over 12,
12.
this creature gets a +1 modifier, right? So if I have a Forgotten One with 20 speed, then he gets +8. Oh, and his attack is just 4 dice. So he would become a 4 + 8.
Mhm.
So with all and then Ward United is, of course,
Yeah, I was about
you
to
add
say, is he probably one of the strongest Ward United creatures? I was just thinking
may-
about that when you were
maybe,
bringing
I don't
that up. I
know.
was like, oh my goodness, you could make that. He could probably become like the biggest creature that you could have in Ward.
Maybe, but so Ward United it's a promo, and it says for when you sack a creature, um, the creatures you sacked to play your creature, you add their attack and modifier to him. So I sacked 2 wizards, which is their attack is 2 dice plus 4. So already he started the gate out with no speed increases as an 8+8, which is a perfect shark, right?
Oh yeah.
So then I just kept adding speed increases to it. And all the speed increases I added also add modifier. So, you know, if I add a celestial power, it's +8 speed, +8 attack, which means one of those makes him forget the Ward United. He's 4 dice rolls. If I add 1 celestial power, he becomes a 4 plus 14 because he gets +8 for attack and then +6 for the modifier speed thing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you start adding those and they stack quickly. So that's we got up to 8 plus 62.
And that's the kind of
yeah.
creature too that just doesn't care about assassins. Assassins are like, ooh, if I hit first, and that thing's just like, nah, you gotta outdo my speed.
No, there was a point where he did play a bear wolf, which always attacks first. Hey, I'm at like 50 speed and you're still hitting me first.
Yeah, right. That's kind of funny. I
But
do
no,
really
it was
like.
good.
Speaking of Beowulf, I really do like that effect. Definitely a lot of people were playing it here in the, the playoffs, and so I do think in the future that might become a card, like you said. We'll see how like rampant Assassin becomes, but I do think it just has a lot of inherent counters that like aren't terrible to put in your deck. Like a 50 HP Beowulf that like not only in that matchup but in other matchups too. Like it just kind of deals with a lot of those like speed attack first creatures, and so it's like I think. Yeah, I think we see a lot of counter to those kind of things, and so it is interesting to watch how it develops.
It's also a nice kind of it holds off backstab for a little bit because this backstab says you may attack or this makes your creature attack first, but Beowulf's effect says it always
yeah.
First, so it trumps backstab, which is kind of funny.
Right.
But anywho, yeah, I was just gonna say. So I had a forgotten one that was swinging like 90 damage a swing, which is pretty sick. And you may say, well, how did you lose to Jeremy if you had that thing on the field? That's a great question. He was playing a lot of Krakens, a lot of different creatures he was able to revive. And every time he revived, I didn't have a counter for it. So I swung through probably like 600 or 700 HP of damage.
Jesus.
And he was basically just like fending off until he could play Silence from the Grave.
Yeah.
And he played it in a way that I couldn't negate it. So I was like, and then of course that wiped all my speed stuff off. Forgotten one was, kind of sitting there naked, and then
doesn't even get its effect either. Just totally
whoops it, man. Stupid 4 dice rolls. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good game. Jeremy would say he won because of his favorite card, and I would say he did a lot before then to make him win. So it was a good game, though. Very, very neck and neck. Like it felt very like, the tides could turn at any moment. So that was good.
Hey, you gotta love those games, like you said. Sometimes I was watching Mish versus Adam V, and yeah, dude, their game was it was a slog. It was probably one of the longer ones we had in the tournament, or in the league, I should say. And literally, they were almost running like mirror match decks too. Like they had like basically the exact, like by the end of it, like you didn't know at the start, but yeah, by the end of it, it was like they literally went through their whole decks, and then it just came down to like creatures. And I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I was like, I don't know how many ward games I've seen that just come down to creatures, but it's just like, yeah. At one point, it was just they both had Raccoon Knight, and they're both AL12 with nothing, and they're just who hits, who hits and who doesn't hit. Like that was like literally
that's
like
crazy.
I know. I was like, I don't know, but yeah. It was a pretty fun one to watch, and I didn't catch. It seems like tonight actually Jesse and Mish played, or at some point today, and Mish also beat Jesse. I was kind of curious if they didn't post their decks, but I was kind of curious to see what that matchup was like. But kind of wish I would have got to catch those ones too. It's kind of fun to always catch those matches and just hear the banter and watching everybody play the cards and just kind of see what's shown. So, but Yeah, anyway, so yeah, Jeremy ended up beating your forgotten, and then yeah, he unfortunately, see now I'm gonna use the right use of unfortunately, Billy.
There you go.
Unfortunately, he did have to play me, and I was kind of on this kick of I talked about it in the last episode about playing Billy with the Eternal Turbo deck that we kind of explained. So if you want a recap on how that deck works or all the stuff about that deck, I think we covered it pretty well in our last episode, but I didn't really get good footage playing Billy because of course, like I said, he's just such a good ward player, and he just happened to have all the answers because he
If you
plays
want to
he
play, if you want to play a game sometime, just you and me, and we'll just both play it. So it has to go off at some point. We can
yeah.
do that.
Well, speaking of that though, I ended up playing it against Jeremy, and I honestly like I want to. I kind of regret it a little bit because, like, yeah, I do understand. Like, my whole point of playing it, and that's kind of like why I'm gonna keep bringing it up. Is like, again, I know we've already talked. It happened in at the Ward Bowl, and the Ward staff or whatever, they kind of said it's an 8 card combo, and I know you're probably kind of still on that train too. I really do think though that that play style of just forcing your opponent, if they have no way to deal with it, to just get rid of, like, draw out their whole deck and then have to discard it all. It really does rub me the wrong way, honestly, like with the game. And as the game goes forward, I really don't want to see play styles like that. And so, like, I did want to just get footage of how oppressive or how obnoxious and annoying that kind of is. And so unfortunately Jeremy kind of had to be on the other end of the stick of it, and I do feel a little bad. And like I said, but I don't know, I think he took it okay, and like I said, he was a little frustrated with it. I'm not gonna lie, like he was having a little bit of a day, especially since we just got done watching that other match. We were both watching the Adam versus Mish, and it was taking quite a while. So and he was like, we can play after that one, and so it was kind of a long slog of a night, and it was getting pretty late. So like I can understand a little bit of his frustration, but again, the deck performed pretty well. I mean, I got the footage now, so I'm probably gonna retire it. So if Mish, my opponent's watching this, I will not be playing that in the final turn thing, because I really just I don't want it to be played. I really don't want Eternal Turbo to really like exist at some point. I really do think if they could make all the draw power cards like Twister, Dragon Rage not be able to be taken out of the cemetery to kind of abuse the fact that you could keep reusing it over and over and over again, I think that would just fix the problem, honestly, right there. It is kind of the way that they've been
It's
fixing a lot of those cards that are like problematic.
Well, it's kind of funny. You talk about fixing a deck that hasn't won a tournament, and two people played it at the Ward Bowl and it didn't win. So, I mean,
That's fair. Like I said, Billy, it just knowing the potential of how it can force your opponent to draw just so many cards. Like I hear what you're saying. I I don't think it is broken. And again, I think it's a very hard deck to get a hold of all those cards to begin with, having 3 Eternal Dragons. I mean, you technically don't need 3 Eternal Dragons, but it's way more consistent with them, because then you're never forced to go into like really playing Eternal Dragon or playing another dragon. Because, like, let's say I play, and I guess you could play like a black dragon or blue dragon, one that needs a sack, but then even then you got to be careful, because if you ever pull a hand with those other dragons and an Eternal Dragon, you're going to have to sack the Eternal Dragon into your cemetery to bring it out. So it's like you kind of want all 3 Eternal Dragons just to like avoid those kind of interactions. And so I don't think you're going to see this deck very often, Billy, unless somebody has the 3 Eternal Dragons, which obviously I would hate to see Ward get into a point where everyone's just racing to get this deck, and at the same time, it's like as much as I want to, like, it's fine to have it win. I do think that it's like I don't personally want to see the meta or like the game have to revolve around this deck, because like I don't really care too much for the play style. I like that there is turbo. I like the fact of like accelerating the game. I don't like how it affects your opponent. I guess that's like the one thing that I'm not a big fan of.
but Alkanos is okay because I could do okay. I'm with Alkanos. Okay, I'm with Alkanos. Okay, I'm with Alkanos. I'll flame with the infinite. You killed that Alkanos. Oh no, go through the path. Another Alkanos. I'm gonna sit there and out. Oh, well, that's the old one, Alkanos. And that's worse that's not worse than Eternal Turbo. Okay, buddy.
Well, first, I meant, all right. I'm gonna state
All
this
right.
is no, just hear me out. I'm gonna state this. When it comes to Elkanost, it is still battle against another opponent's creature. This whole combo thing of dumping it and then flipping a creature around, I think is like kind of again goes past the whole like my opponent, like really gets to play the game, or like it's not really a back and forth battle between our creatures. It's me rushing to find this combo that I can like potentially guarantee. I mean, there are ways to prevent it, and I'm not saying there aren't. There are multiple ways to prevent it. I don't think it makes for a very healthy game of Ward. Just like how they fixed discard, and how discard in Gen 1, as you can say, it was like it didn't really fit what their ideal of Ward is, or like what the Ward staff believe the ideal, like how they want the game to flow. And I think this also kind of fits in that vein of just like forcing my opponent to basically have to like decide what to keep out of 8 cards while I make them go through their whole deck. Again, they can have ways to stop it, and it's not like it's super like perfectly consistent. Like you said, I've only played the deck a couple times, and so it's like I guess I'm not the best judge of it, of like how easy it is to counter. I just know that it's like if some people don't have either the knowledge of the deck or have the proper like things in their deck to even counter it, I think it is like pretty good. Like it like kind of just like wins the game in most cases, like you said, unless people are like prepared and kind of understand it. But
And,
neither here or there.
why don't you watch the footage of my joke deck beating the Eternal deck from week 8, and then we can review and have some analysis.
Yeah.
It's incredibly one directional. It's like Shark deck in my opinion. Yeah, if you don't know how to play against a Shark deck, sure, it'll beat you up and you'll lose easy. But has Shark deck won a tournament?
I know.
No.
No, Sharks
So
have
it
not
is,
technically won.
and discard, if you're going to bring that up, discard strats did win several tournaments in Gen 1. So I mean, I don't know, apples to oranges, my opinion.
Yeah, I like I said, I
If
just I think the Ward staff have like this view of what they want their game to look like, and I think they do want it like a lot of back and forth, like you said. This, sometimes it swings in your favor, sometimes it's swinging in your opponent's, and then it's like trying to get, have it swing back into your favor, and like this back and forth. And I just don't think some of these things create that environment that they're looking for.
Well, the back and forth happens before the dragon gets there. So if you know what you're doing, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's plenty of back and forth. And there's honestly a lot of decks that beat it. So, I mean, Joe T beat me fair and square at the Ward Bowl, and he had a mishmash. So,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
it's fair. Like I said, I haven't we don't have enough data, as we would always say, like
yes,
and
data.
yeah, and at the same time, like I said, I've only piloted the deck a couple times. So like I have like obviously in theory I can think of like ways that it's like yeah, there are still a lot of times where you could have a bad start with the deck, and so it's like it's not like it is a guarantee or anything. But I do think that it. I don't know. I just get a little worried when it's like there are these things that potentially could cause problems in the future now, or just give, like I said, Jeremy had a really bad time, and I just think that I don't want to see things in the game that like just make people feel very like 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 gives you that feeling. But hey, like you said, it's hard to say at this point, and we probably do need more information. But either way, I did end up taking the win over Jeremy, and so now, like I said, me and Mish are playing off to see who wins in the final. So that'll be exciting. We haven't had that match yet, so that we're still looking forward. So for all the people who are like, "Ooh, this league is taking its time," it's like, hey, next episode we're still covering it. So you know what, you get plenty of it, and I hope, like you said, this a lot of people, we kind of keep bringing up the idea of having another one, and I see in the Discord a lot of people are like getting onto the idea of like playing online and playing on Untap, and not and I think that it'll definitely be fun to have another fantasy league after this, and just like since we can like kind of fine tune it a little bit and just get it all figured out, I think that'll be great. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the league, and I can't wait for the finals and see what decks are what Mish brings to the table. But with that, I think we kind of covered the league. Anything else for that, Billy, or how you feeling with
Well,
the yeah.
feeling pretty good. Hopefully it highlights the way we can play with multiple people across multiple different states, time zones, whatever. And you get to try out some new decks, you get to try out some new formats, you get to try out some new ideas and see new ideas. So
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
I think that is one like really beautiful thing with Untap is like everybody can like kind of just play whatever deck they desire. You know, it's like you're not limited by what you have, and I think that in my thought, it's like that is what's going to make people first be excited to get to like own those cards. You know, like let's just say you play some fun thing on Untap that's like, ooh, I don't have this card yet, but once I get this card, now I can actually like make this my actual deck, and like gives people just something to look forward to strive for and it's like I don't know, and I think it's just like I said, having access to all those things to test out these cards is also just a great use of that, you know, having the untap, having like a way to at least play Ward online, which like you said, eventually people can figure out strategies and things. So yeah, I really do like our league. But moving forward, so Billy, it's been a little while, but I thought we could do a fun segment. I call it Convincing Captain Ward. And
Oh boy.
yeah, it's been a while. We haven't had this in a while, but I do know that when we did do it, a lot of people they're very excited, and anytime we get guests on there, they're like, "Ooh, can we do?" You know, I want to make sure they do some of these fun, what do you call them, like segments, because like I think it's enjoyable to sometimes get a little goofy and have some fun with Ward. And so basically, if you haven't watched the other episode or like prior, I mean, it's been a while, I'll re-explain it. So in my head, I made a segment where I basically wanted to have it where we could deep dive cards and like talk about cards that and try to make like a fun spin on it. So I called it Convincing Captain Ward. Basically, Captain Ward, if you don't know the lore of the game, he's like the protector of Planet Ward, right? He's kind of like the superhero, like Superman, and basically his job is to defend Ward, and so Ward is being invaded, and my concept is like we have the option to like tell him what cards to put in his deck, because you know every battle, every conflict in the world of Ward has to be played, has to have a Ward of card gameplay. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh in that sense. It's like this is world ending crap, and we're gonna play cards to settle who wins and who loses. So we have to give Captain Ward his cards to win the game. So we're both going to try to convince Captain Ward. And with this, my new spin on it is I wanted to try to get a couple more cards put in there. Before it was just like one or two. But for this, I actually want to do 5 cards, Billy. So we're going to give Captain Ward a 5-card hand. And then after we give I'm going to add a little bit more onto it. After we do the 5-card hand, we're both going to say one card that we would add to his hand to improve, or just like that we would think would like put it all kind of together, okay? So what do you think? So we'll do 6 cards, and I've already randomly picked them. I have it all ready to go. Okay. And so I'll start with you first, and I think you'll have a good laugh at it. But so Billy is going to convince Captain Ward to defend Planet Ward, and his 5 cards that he's given to Captain Ward are Rodent. Yeah, don't worry, Billy. Yep, protect it with Rodent. Forest Fire. First Law. Melody of the Deep.
All right.
And Hell Skellington. So those are Billy's 5 cards that he has to convince Captain Ward to take his deck. So Billy's gonna try to think of a way to make all these cards kind of. He's gonna try to spice them up and make them sound as powerful as he possibly can to convince Captain Ward to use them, or just be funny with it and give him a reason to do it. So did you get? Yep. So you got Rodent, Forest Fire,
Forest Fire,
First Law, and Hell Skellington.
All right. Let's a refresher a bit. You're good. Go ahead with. Do I have to do it now or like what?
Oh, here.
Do I have to know what I'm playing against?
All right. Yeah, you can know what you're playing against. So for me, my 5 cards, Billy's gonna get a good laugh out of this. My first card is Backstab.
Oh, okay.
Hey, it was all random generated. I don't want to hear Billy.
Yeah, okay.
My second card is Attack Beacon.
Yeah,
so
right.
Backstab, Attack Beacon, Bomb.
Yeah.
Lucky Charm, and Magic Artillery are my cards.
Wait. You get a creature?
No, I didn't get any creatures. So,
Well, I guess you have to draw a creature, don't you?
yeah, I was about to say that. Unfortunately, I think my add a card will probably be a creature, just so I can
Oh, good.
make it all work. So don't worry, Billy. I know it sounds funny, but yeah, I have my cards too. So mine all
All right,
ended up being magic.
what's your cards again?
So I have backstab, attack beacon, bomb, lucky charm, and magic artillery.
Yeah, okay.
All right. All right, Billy. Do you want to try to convince Captain Ward first, or do you want me to try to convince him that who what hand he should play
Yeah,
to
why
save?
don't you convince him with no magics in your hand first?
You mean with no creatures? Yeah.
Or no creatures, I'm sorry.
Okay. So for no creatures, let's just start off. So we have backstab. So obviously, backstab. No matter what he's up against, he can always attack first. Everybody understands this card and does a bunch of damage. So let's just say Captain Ward plays himself, but unfortunately Captain Ward needs sack creatures, so I don't know how I'm going to convince him that this is a good idea, but if somehow he can find a way to get himself out, maybe he like, you know, he can add the backstab, he can add, and then obviously attack beacon. I don't know. That doesn't really buff him up. Whatever creature I add is gonna be able to work under attack. This is a terrible argument.
Pick your 6 cards so you can have an actual argument. That's fine.
Okay. Fair enough. I am going to pick. Let's see. It needs to be a good creature. What's the best creature that I could pick that could fit? That could also use attack beacon. Are we talking? I think we're talking like Infernal Wizard or Snowman. But I think we'd probably have to go with Infernal
Really?
Wizard. Well, I mean, you could do like Green
No, Inferno
Dragon.
Wizard's an AL6.
Yeah, an attack beacon works with AL6. AL6
You
and
sure?
yep, AL6 and less with no
Can I
effects.
read?
You can read it all you want. So
Oh
attack.
yeah. All right.
So the
Yeah.
way attack
All
beacon
right.
works is it's a field spell, so it affects you and your opponent. But yeah, any non-effect creatures that are AL6 or lower get to add an extra hit dice, or not hit dice, attack dice to their damage. So you just get another dice added on. It's not like it's a crazy effect. It's an uncommon card, but again, a potential 6 more damage can make the difference in a lot of games. And I've seen decks with like green dragons and things that like always basically hit every time, and adding another damage dice onto their rolls is kind of insane, and they stack. So if you get like 2 attack beacons, I'm pretty sure you get to have more attack dice added on. I'm not 100% sure with that, but that is kind of my theory with it. So I think I would run like Infernal Wizard, because then I get 4. He'd be a 4+3. Bomb, unfortunately, I don't have any way to utilize Bomb. Bomb is kind of a dead card in my hand. I guess I could still just equip it to their creature, because then when I like do backstab or something, if they like blow up the board, I guess I could get like 30 damage off. Magic Artillery. Oh yeah, Bomb. That's basically what Bomb does. It's an equip card, so you can equip it to a creature. Usually, you'd probably do your opponent. I don't know if there's really much reason to equip it to your own creature, but basically, anytime that card, anytime the card gets destroyed, it does 30 damage. Yeah, right.
If it's removed from
If it's
destroy.
removed from the field, it
So
does 30 damage. Okay, yeah. So basically, you like build it with like destruction cards. I think it is good, like I said, to kind of deep dive all these cards. Backstab, like I said, basically backstab allows your creature to always attack first, unless you're against Beowulf, as Billy explained earlier in our episode. And basically, what it does is 3 times damage. So for your one attack, you're gonna go first, and you're gonna do 3 times. So it's kind of like that ultimate, like, I want to kill your creature card, I would call it. And so, for obvious reasons, I think everybody would want backstab in their deck, just to kind of give themselves a chance to one shot. So whatever's invading Ward, Captain Ward can one shot them. Magic Artillery. Hey man, it always can work. It works against every single deck. That's my argument for Magic Artillery. If you don't know if you don't know Magic Artillery, it basically is a chance card. You got to roll a dice at the beginning of your turn. If you get a 1, it destroys Magic Artillery, which kind of sucks. But if you roll a 6, your opponent has to discard 1 magic card, and so in theory, you could get some decent value. But again, the fact that there's like such a range of just nothing happening, or you potentially destroy your card, yeah, it's not the greatest. But you know what? I'm making the argument. It is great, and it's awesome. And gnomes, you can't go wrong with gnomes and gnome stuff. So there you go.
What's your 6th card?
My 6th card, I just did Infernal Wizard. So Infernal Wizard works good with Attack Beacon. Give him a backstab. He doesn't care. Bomb doesn't really do much. Lucky Charm. He has a low modifier, but giving him a Lucky Charm, which Lucky Charm just gives you +3 to your hit. So that makes it easier to hit. So, he'll be a +6. And so there you go. And then with that, he's got Magic Artillery to potentially get some value off of it. There you go, Captain War. That's how you protect all that good stuff. All right, Billy, give your argument, and I'm sure we'll let the people decide at the end as you like to do. So you had Rodent, Forest Fire, First Law, Melody, and Hell Skeleton. Honestly, you're packing some heat there, brother. Even though I know Rodent might be a little bit rough, but hey, Rodent plus Hell Skeleton could bring out the big boy. Could bring out Captain Ward himself.
Yeah, it could. Trying to think what direction I want to go with it. I think I know what direction I want to go with it. I think. I got Forest Fire.
Yeah.
And I got.
We both got fun field spells. I will say we have the fun field
Forest
spells.
Fire, Melody of the Deep.
Mm-hmm. Hell Skeleton, Rodent, and First Law. Come on, Billy.
First Law.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite legendary.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go a little bit fun with this. So you got 50 health.
Yeah, that's the one downside. I don't have a lot of HP to keep the game going. My hand's a little rough when it comes to HP.
Okay, I think my card I'm gonna draw. I could go either way with this, and that maybe.
All right, go.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm not gonna take too long.
Yeah,
I'm gonna draw a Necromancer.
Ooh, he's adding a Necromancer. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm going creature heavy. So my petition to Captain Ward is that Rodent. I'd love to see some work done, but he's 20 health, and we're gonna summon him on turn 1. You're gonna summon Inferno Wizard. It's gonna be my turn. We're just gonna sack him. Get Hell Skeleton out there, and he's got 100 health, and he's gonna take a bunch of hits, and he's gonna attack. Of course, you're gonna use your Magic Artillery right away and try to knock off some magic cards in my hand. And the one you care about the most is probably Melody of the Deep, right? Because you have a backstab, and I'm going to use Melody to block the attack and not stop backstab.
Okay.
So with that, I think that means I'm going to play Forest Fire on turn 1. I'm going to hold First Law and hold Melody of the Deep so that I have a 50-50 shot if you
Man's just getting rid of. He's just using the First Law so that he doesn't lose his Melody. God damn. Poor First Law.
Just in case you hit the Magic Artillery, you probably hit one anyways and kill it, but because you can't roll good. But yeah, we'll hold it just in case. And then if you play backstab, I'll just block it. That's fine.
Do you want to kind of run through your cards? I know you're doing the play-by-play. Do you want to just kind of hit?
Oh yeah. So cards? Forest Fire, we're put on the field. It roll.
Similar to Magic Artillery, actually. It's pretty similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Forest Fire is 1 to 3. The card does 10 damage to your creature. If it's 4 to 6, it just blows up. So it's like a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
So that's a fifth of Inferno Wizard's health. That helps if it goes off once or twice.
Yeah, if you don't just.
It's
not a bad card. It's
not a bad card. First Law is a great card. It's legendary, but the problem is that you're going to play all your cards, so you're not holding anything. First Law, you equip it to your creature, and it's +1 attack, +1 modifier. No, it's not. It's just +1 modifier for every card in your opponent's hand.
Is it not?
So,
I don't think you get any dice. It's just hit. It's hit and it's attack. Yeah, it's
hit and attack modifier. Yeah. So you're not going to have that many cards, so it's better purpose is to hope you don't take my Melody away. Melody of the Deep
Yeah.
is either negate a magic spell or block an attack. I could negate backstab, but I could also just block the attack period, and then I don't take any damage. So that's what I'm using it for. And the
Hmm.
Necromancer is once my Hell Skeleton dies, if Infernal Wizard even gets there, um, then I can play Necromancer. It's a AL3, I think. 80 HP, and then I can limit summon something from the cemetery. So I'll bring Hell Skeleton back. That's another HP you got to claw through. So total, I think you have to do 180 HP damage, and I only have to do 50, and I got a Force Fire, and then I can block your backstab.
Well,
Unless you just like roll and take out both my magic cards with Magic Artillery. So that's
yeah,
possible.
that
But I
is.
mean, my math says even if you do like okay, so you're getting 4+3, so that's 15. So you're doing 45 with a backstab. You're still not getting that's half of Hell Skeleton's HP. So I can take a backstab even. It's enough health you can't chew through it before I chew through you.
Yeah, and
Captain Ward, take the sustain.
yeah, it annoys me too because attack beacon buffs up rodent as well. I mean, it doesn't buff up your other two because they're effect creatures and whatever. So I don't know. That is also kind of annoying that if it gets to late game and you have necromancer and you bring out rodent, it's like it just gets the buff from attack beacon too. It's like,
That's true. Yeah, I could do that.
I mean, obviously, I don't know. I feel like
Um,
Hell Skeleton's probably a better summon or because does Necromancer they have to be undead? No, he can just bring back
nope.
anything, right?
Anything.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not Dark Knight. I think is the one that brings back undead
Dark
creatures.
Knight is the only undeads. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah, that's a fun one. I like that.
let the people decide who wins out. What deck would Captain Ward take? It sounds like if we battled it out. I kind of like the whole adding a card to the deck to kind of like be like, okay, what would be like the best like use of this. I guess obviously I didn't think about not having like creatures. Like as soon as I like did the randomizer and I got all magic, I was like, ooh, kind of needed a creature here, so I can at least
Yeah,
have
I don't know. I
something.
kind of like that. I kind of like that because, like, let's say you randomly get selected to AL12, you're like, ah, crap. What am I gonna use? My next creature is gonna be a sat goat. So
Yeah, right.
I don't know. We can always play like a 5 minute untap hand with that and just see what
Oh
happens.
my gosh, yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Just like take the well six card hand, but yeah, with the
Yeah,
creature. Play your creatures. I would just need to rip through that rodent like right away, and then just what I would need to do is just like one shot the rodent, so then you'd have to like sack. Oh no, because you could still bring out.
Well,
See, that's the
I'm just
problem.
gonna Hell Skeleton immediately because
Yeah,
you gave them both in my opening
that's
hand.
that's fair. And well, I was also just thinking, it's like, yeah, is there? Well, because technically, like, if I do win the roll and I go first, but then you have Melody of the Deep to stop my backstab, and I have no way to deal with that. And Bomb is just such a dead card in my hand. But
Well, you
if I didn't know what
you
you had,
you could play Magic Artillery and roll a 6 immediately, and then
no,
take
because
out
I'm
my
pretty sure you have to do it. It's at the beginning of your turn, so you can't even do it immediately. Because I'm pretty sure you have to do it like after you draw. If I'm thinking.
backstab.
No, not backstab. Magic artillery is so even though
Oh,
you
I see what
play
you're
it,
saying. Okay.
yeah, it's such a silly card. Like honestly, in my head, I was like, why do they ever like almost every other card in Ward that doesn't have this beginning of the turn thing, and this is like the one card in Ward right now that like has like at the beginning of your turn, so it's just like you can't even use it the first turn you play it, which I think there's like almost no other card in Ward that does that at the moment, but. Whatever. Poor Magic Artillery just gets wrecked by that for sure. But anyway, that was a fun little thing. Like I said, go in the comments, guys. We like to make it interactive and let us know who won, or maybe we'll put a poll and tell us who won the convincing Captain Ward. He's got to save the world, so we got to take this really serious. Okay, so make sure that you're
Seriously.
yeah, we're so serious about it. But yeah, anyway, there you go. That's the fun segment, and I'm sure I'll try to do more of it in the future. Like I said, once we do all the cards on there, I like to take them all off of my random generator. If you want to know behind the scenes, I got a big old list of all the ones we've already done, and so we'll keep rocking through it to kind of get all these cards out. Like I said, just a fun way to be like, here, these are some cards. This is kind of like what they're, what they are, what they do, and like how we can like put them together with other cards. So I think Captain Ward segment is always a fun one. And speaking of another fun and a fan favorite, we have Irresponsible Takes. And so for people that don't know, our beautiful Scott C. If anyone has seen him in the Discord, Scott. He's been a little quiet lately, but we were talking about Irresistible Love, which is an uncommon card in Gen 2, and he said he accidentally typed irresponsible one time when he was talking about it, and ever since then they made like this card called Irresponsible Love, and it's just been kind of a little running joke, I thought it would be kind of funny. To make a segment called Irresponsible Takes. And so basically me and Billy, what we do is we make kind of hot takes that basically the community sentiment of the community isn't like, they don't really think are like, too or they think they're like kind of crazy, kind of out there, and basically these are our takes. So I thought, Billy, why not tonight we can give some of our hot takes about Ward. How are you feeling? Did you want to take a first? We'll both do a couple. How's that sound? We'll both do 2 irresponsible takes. There are some new cards that you could talk about for sure that we haven't really covered since they've coming out.
Like what?
Well, we didn't really cover the boss promos, and also the Teeb, also Excalibur Teeb or Teeb Excalibur. You know what card I'm talking about.
I kind of like that card. Yeah, I kind of like that card.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. I mean, there's plenty of things to talk about, and yeah, I'll let you.
You go first. No, you go first.
Okay, my
brains before beauty.
Wow. Yeah, thank you. I'm definitely got the brain. Just kidding. Okay. All right. Here's my irresponsible take. I think Gen 3 is not going to have as many busted cards as like Gen 1 and potentially even Gen 2, but I think it is going to be the most balanced set yet, or generation yet. Ooh, I'm already in the future here.
How is that a hot take?
Is that not a hot take?
No, they're gonna get better at bouncing as they make more cards.
Okay, Billy. Wow. All right, my mediocre take. I just think they're okay. My hot take is that there aren't going to be many cards that can be like. Well, there won't be a lot of cards that replace other cards. There, is that better? Does that make it more hot or no? It's just like, I guess that was kind of more of what I was going for.
I think, okay, if we started with the amount of limited and banned cards Gen 1, and then we went to the amount of limited banned cards in Gen 2. And if you want to expand that to cards that got changed, they're trending down, right? So I don't see a reason to go up. So yeah, of course they're going to go down. I don't know. Lame.
What? Okay,
I'm glad you believe in the Ward team. I do too. I just don't think that's a hot thing.
I'm not saying so much that it's like I do think it'll be balanced, but I think at the same time I don't think like right now, like we have the Elite 8, we have the cards we have in the meta right now that a lot of people play with. What I'm trying to say is I don't think Gen 3 is actually gonna like potentially won't spice up the meta enough to where, or like cards won't be strong enough to replace a lot of those cards that I'm saying are like the Elite 8 or like from Gen 1 and Gen 2. Okay. I guess that was more of my take.
Saying,
yeah.
Okay.
I do think overall
the Elite 8 is cemented with going into Gen 3.
Yeah, that's more of my take.
Okay,
I just also wanted to put the fact of like I do think Gen 3 will be like the most balanced out of the 3 generations, like individually. I think it'll probably, like you said, because they are fine tuning it, so that I just wanted to throw that in there. But I do think overall, depending how they go about it, obviously I would like it if they made it so that Gen 3 we do get a little bit of Gen 3 tournaments and things only, like you said. We talked about it in a previous episode, and I think that'd be kind of exciting if they kind of just started with like Gen 3 only, and so we could actually just see how strong of a generation it is and how balanced it is on its own. But I do my concern is that I just think that a lot of these Elite 8 cards are pretty hard to replace as we go forward with Ward. And I know that we talked to Joe, and he said that he wanted to keep try to keep all the cards available, at least at this moment, I think. I don't know if they're really wanting to like phase out cards or anything because they want people to be able to play these cards throughout all of Ward.
Gosh, I hope not. I've
Right.
spent money on the cards. I'd like to play set cards.
Yeah, that's fair, and I think that's always the goal. But at the same time, sometimes just the way, like you said, like the first generation you start out, you're just like, is this what I want my game to look like? And it's like I don't know if really Gen 1 was exactly. Now that I feel like they kind of have like this is what we want Ward to look like. I don't know if it really fits all completely with their thought of Ward, if you know what I mean. But anyway,
Yeah, but Gen 1 made Ward.
that's fair, and like you said, I agree with you. But like they obviously took the craziness of Gen 1 and were like, okay, what are the concepts we really want to hit home in Gen 2? And I think they did hit those concepts pretty well. It's like, okay, like making creatures have their own ability to do stuff for themselves, having powerful magic cards, but things that don't just like totally flip the game on its head. I guess it's like it I don't know. I just think in general it's just like obviously they definitely went down a little bit of a different route when making Gen 2 from Gen 1, and like I think Gen 3 will kind of be in that same vein. So like I don't know. Like again, it's a hot take, and I think like you said, you understand now where I'm coming from with like I don't think that like I think that the Elite 8 and those staple Gen 1 cards are definitely going to be hard to like filter out going forward with Ward.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, well, let's do this. How many Elite 8 cards are Gen 1? Right? We got, we'll go through them. Holy White's 1.
I think
Visitors
6.
2. Revival's 3.
Everything.
Here's Love is 2.
Yeah, everything besides Love and Silence or Scroll of Silence are the only two.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah,
maybe you're right.
1.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, like I said, it's a little scary of a thought, honestly. Like I don't think people think too much about it. And like at the same time, I'm not saying don't enjoy Gen 3. Like I'm gonna enjoy everything, and I'm gonna try to play with every single dang card in Gen 3. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm already excited, to the moon and back, and whatever that saying is. And like I dude, as soon as Gen 3 drops, like that is gonna be so much fun. But like there's that thought in the back of my head, and I know KC, he's a big proponent of it too, where he just like said it's a lot of these recursion things and the cards that are in Gen 1 are very hard to be like, why wouldn't I run this in my deck when the graveyard is such an important aspect of Ward? So it's
I mean, I don't know. I think my approach to it is if you think Holy Light, Visitor, and Ghosts of the Past are a problem, just ban them. Like, don't ban the entire generation. Just ban the cards.
No, right. I don't want them to ban the entire generation. I just think, like you said, I guess that's more of my thought is that the ban list, unfortunately, I think is going to get bigger. And like I know maybe that's like, oh, that's still not a hot take because as the game gets longer, it's like that's just kind of the reality of it. But I do just think like those cards that haven't really seen the ban yet and like can still be played in the game. Like I think eventually people are going to be like, we don't want these cards in the game, right? Like we want to see fresh cards and things, and these cards kind of just hold the slots. But I don't know. Anyway, that's my hot take. People can go in the comments, agree or disagree with that hot take. All right, Billy, throw yours out there. Let's get your hot take. Mine might have been a little mediocre.
No, you just have to clarify. It's fine. Hot take. Gosh, what's a good hot take? I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking about it. I guess my hot take. I don't know.
Stumping Billy Hughes over here. Well,
I don't think Magic Steel should be limited. I think it's fine.
Oh, okay. Magic Steel should not be limited. All right. Is there any other cards too that do you want to throw any other cards up there that you think might not?
Yeah, take Judgment off. Frick you. No. I love my Judgment. The ban with no data. No, I just like the card.
I really do. I really think the whole bounce mechanic, not even so much as the bounce mechanic, but like forcing your opponent to have to bring out like AL6, I think is just kind of like the coolest thing. Like I even think like if it was like a flash card, like how like Icy Breath is, like I think Judgment, if they had like a card like that where it's like, ooh, like when you kill their creature, you play this flash card and now they're like forced. They cannot do like a sack summon or something. You know what I mean? So it's like like let's
Flash.
just say I know that it's like they only have two big creatures left in their deck. It's like here we go. Now you just can't play it if you don't stop this. I don't know. I think that's
I
pretty
kind of
cool.
like Flash Judgment, Flash Foolish Tricks. I like that idea.
But just obviously,
Uh,
it just it makes it so you have to play
yeah,
like six, NAL six or lower or whatever.
yeah,
I
I like that.
I kind of like it too.
Um, no, I think Magic Steel don't need to be limited. It was like the best negate card in Gen 1. Mysterious Door is the best. Second best was negate or Magic Steel because Mysterious Door at the time didn't do 10 damage. Magic Steel, I think there's a lot of cards that like you can't actually use it on. For
Yeah.
any field card, can't steal it.
With the new way
Um,
that they've worded it, where Magic Steel now, because Magic Steel,
it's always said that. Everyone's played it wrong. You know what I
that's fair.
mean?
It's always been that case, but yeah, we've been ruling it wrong. But you have to play the card that you steal. So right, like you were saying, a lot of field spells just kind of like, don't really matter
Yeah.
too much about playing, and you kind
And,
of can play around it.
and it was limited in a time where like negate magic negates were king.
Yeah.
So I think Gen 2 did a good job of kind of simmering those down. You know, Scroll Silence does a nice job.
Mm-hmm.
Foggy Night does a nice job. You know, there's a
Time
lot of
melt.
cards. Time Melt,
Yeah.
Time
Holy that.
Weaver. You know, like all these cards are like just kind of address that and put it back into like a proper place. And you kind of see that with deck building now. I think a lot of the Summer League decks, I don't think anybody's playing more than 5 negates in their deck. So
Yeah.
maybe there's a couple, but like a majority of them just have a few here and there, just as a security deposit. But so I don't think you need to have just one Magic Steel. I mean, people can play with three if they want to, but it could hurt them. So that's my hot take. I don't let
Right.
the people play the cards.
Yeah. No. I don't know. Is it a hot take? Like I think Magic Steel, like you said, now that we've seen kind of this like Gen 2 and all these things, I it's a hot take because I think of maybe a lot of people think the card is still super strong. I can get behind what you're saying
Yeah,
there. I do. I mean, it is still an impactful card. Stealing a Holy Light, stealing one of those recursion cards is pretty strong. But like you said, I kind of agree with you because sometimes even putting three of those in your deck, like you said, if someone's running a certain deck, those cards are just, they might have no power. And you know what I mean? They just don't, they're really kind of a dead card. And so it's like, yeah,
yeah. And another thing, I think about like if Magic Steel wasn't limited, would I put three in my deck? Probably not. I don't even know if I put two. You know, like it's not that impactful. Like one maybe. You know, I'm still finding today like do I want? I don't know if I want a Magic Steel. Like I might want something else. So like if I'm having that hard of a time like picking, it's like I don't know. Does this really need to be limited?
mm-hmm. No, that's fair. This might be. I just want to backpack off of your Magic Steel for cards that are on the limited list. Do you think it would be terrible if we had three rodent, if or not rodent, giant rat? If three giant rat was,
Yeah, I do think it'd be terrible.
I don't know. I think giant rat sometimes is a pretty big card though. Like, I just think
Yeah,
if you put three
yeah.
giant rats in your deck, so that's already three creatures, and then you have to put sack creatures in your deck. I understand. I know you're talking about Phoenix, but I don't know. I'm trying to think, and I honestly think Ward might be okay with that. But is that? This isn't my hot take. Sorry, I was just backpacking. I'll still do another hot
No,
take.
the hot take is Ward's okay with that, but Ward is not okay with a turbo deck that hasn't won a tournament. I mean, no, that's wild. Because okay, we've talked about it. It doesn't
But
matter.
but
Now,
was there like a thing in Gen 1 where Rat was just ridiculous? Like I'm just curious. Like is it like
yes, there is an infinite loop if you
yes,
don't have the card to
okay,
stop it.
but the infinite loop isn't. I don't think it's like complete infinite though. There are ways that it doesn't function. Like you get a giant rat out, it dies.
I have 3 cards left in my deck. They're 2 giant rats and a phoenix. I'm going to sack my 2 giant rats for a phoenix. It'll it'll attack, whatever. It eventually dies, go right back to my hand. I will sack my 2 giant rats for a phoenix. And the only time you can kill it is if you have Iron Range, Mind Sap, uh,
Yeah.
that's it. A demonic magic. You can have that too.
Yeah, demonic magic, Iron Range, Mind Sap. Yeah, I don't know.
So I think I understand. I understand there's a counter to it. I don't think
Yeah,
there
okay.
should be
Whoa,
something in the
those are not
game
the.
where
Whoa, 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 whoa,
you
whoa, whoa,
literally
wait, wait.
lose if you don't play that
Those
card.
those aren't the only counters though, Billy. You ready for this?
Go
So there's
ahead.
all the freezing cards. You have Icy Breath. You have Winter's Chill. There are things that don't let you sack Lead Boots. I'm just saying there are tons of
I can
things.
sack it from my hand.
No, but I understand that. But at some point, when you kill Phoenix, you have to play a giant rat. And like you said,
No, you don't. You get to sack it directly from your hand. I don't have to play giant rat first. I could just say I sack these from my hand to play Phoenix, and then go right to my deck.
all right, I'll have to. All right, you're making a point there, but I don't know.
I believe me. I don't like having limited cards, and I will fight for cards that shouldn't be on the limited list, like Wrath and Judgment. Giant Rat is a legitimate problem.
Yeah, I don't know. In my world, I just think there. Yeah, I guess if Phoenix doesn't exist, I just think that they're like. It's kind of like my thought with Sack Go, where it's just like giant rat. Sometimes I think is a little bit of a bait because like you might just open up with a giant rat and that thing is just getting demolished instantly. And like I know you can recur it, and I guess if you really want to, but it's I don't know. I just find it that it's like how much value do you really get with giant rat like in your deck? I don't know. I feel like it's here nor there. Obviously AL creatures, like bigger creatures, aren't really like too common in the meta right now. So it's like I don't know. Just at some point, I don't know.
You can either ban Phoenix or limit Giant Rat. You can do both, one or the other. And so they don't want to ban cards. They rather
Yeah,
limit
well,
cards.
I would just hate the fact that Phoenix just gets banned because of the effect. I think that is bad. That wouldn't be great to do. So like, yeah. All right, whatever. We'll get off the giant rat topic because we still got to get through these our other hot takes. But all right, sorry, super hot take. Billy's like, nah, can't happen. All right, fair enough. We'll keep turbo. We can't try to see what that looks like with Gen 2 and everything. But all right, let's see here.
Do I need another take? Or is that your take?
I mean, in a sense, sorry, the whole Phoenix thing with Giant Rat, you could technically rush that deck down because like if it just gets to a point where it's like those are your only creatures left, I'm just saying you could, because then let's just say you only have 3 cards and then you sack those 2 rats and then Phoenix goes back to your hand and then you have shuffle. I don't know, fuck whatever. All right, I'm moving on. My brain just wants to prove you wrong, Billy, with stupid giant rats.
That's fine.
All right, my irresponsible take. Ooh, no, I'm losing it. Ooh, I like this one. I believe heroism is a very underrated card, and I've talked to Billy. He already knows this. I talk to him a lot, and I think a lot of people like I know they see heroism as like let my creature's effect keep going. Like I protect my creature's effect. I can do keep my creature from getting dealt damage and all this stuff. But I really think heroism has not been like fully utilized for like its offensive potential on like playing on certain creatures and just like the effect that it has on those cards. And I could give examples, but there's tons of cards where it's like ghost form or these equip cards that protect their creatures in certain ways or give them buffs. Putting a heroism on your opponent's creature, it can easily just like shut down all those protection, all those powerful cards that they might play on their creature. And I think a lot of people don't really think about that in those terms, especially like a lot of just like common or like newer players to Ward. Like I know that like Billy, I'm sure you've answered this question a ton of times too in the Discord, is like, oh, how can I equip cards to my opponent? Can I equip? How does equip? Like how can I equip cards and all that stuff? And I think, yeah, it's one of those like things where it's like I feel like you gotta play Ward a little bit to kind of understand like why it's sometimes beneficial to equip cards to your opponent. Obviously, there are some certain cases that are like pretty obvious because it's like it'd be dumb to equip like absolute terror to your creature, but I know what you mean, like kind of like with your Scarlet equipping like a creator's gift to their creature. It's like sometimes it's hard to see why exactly you would do those things, but sorry.
No, I have a
What?
good example. I played a game just for fun last night with Casey, and he had a Raccoon Knight, and then I had an Assassin speed tie, and he put a Celestial Power on it, so it's plus 8 speed, outspeeds my Assassin. His modifier kills it. Okay, great. A majority of my creatures were low health, speed 12, so like Ektorov Assassin,
Yep.
um, Raccoon Knight, and then I had like an Undead King at the end. Um, and it was kind of at the beginning of the game, and I'm like, well, crap, I really wanted my low health creatures to kind of do some damage, and now this one Raccoon Knight is stopping that, and I had no Magic Eaters. But I had a Heroism in my hand. I'm like, I can at least make it a speed tie if I give him a Heroism, and then he can't put any more Celestial Powers on him. So I did that, and it did help stop it. Now, I still rolled pretty bad for the speed checks, but I mean, it wasn't certain death at that point, so it's
Yeah.
situational.
Well, like you said, it
I
just
completely agree. I love it. I love Heroism. Good card.
no, and like I said, I meant I think it's irresponsible because I just think a lot of people don't think too or like probably don't like see that value in it all that much. Like you said, I think they look
Yeah.
at it for a different value. But yeah, that was my hot take. Billy, what's your hot take?
All right, I got a hot take. I got a hot
Okay.
take, and
I
I'm
love
going
I love
after
seeing
you.
that
So
smile on your face, Billy, when you
that's
got
good.
something.
Um, the foil 450 is not possible. Is my hot take.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think it's possible. I don't think it's possible.
Jeez. Do you want to give a little bit
Uh,
explaining of like what exactly the foil 50 or
yeah,
foil?
let's do some the background.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so you
yeah. You
got
might need to do that.
any generation. The 150 would be completing the whole set. So generation 1 or 2. Hold on, my cat is deciding to be. Hello, say hi to
Oh,
everybody.
there's a cat. Billy got replaced by a cat.
Ah,
Everybody,
sorry, she was walking around. Okay, so the
take you
completed the
out.
150, you get all the cards in the set, generation 1 or 2. You get a play mat, and then you get to be part of the 150 club, who gets to be a part of like early play testing, different news events, whatever. Kind of early. It's a nice group to be in, whatever. And you get your own mat customized, whatever. Great. A lot of people completed one or the other or both.
Yeah, it's a
And
fun
then you got
achievement for
people.
people in the community to complete. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got the foil 150, which has not been completed yet, but there are several people very close, including Harry, which is getting a whole complete set of everything foil. That if you know anything about the ratios, this is very hard to do. And it started in Generation 2 when they released foils, and the fall, or I guess summer of last year, and we still don't have a winner yet, but we're getting close. So I
Yeah,
think this year we're
the
going to see
foil the
one.
foil system is pretty new. Like you're saying, it's like
It's new,
because
yeah.
like yeah, like through most of Gen 1, like the original Gen 1, they did not have anything that was foil. Like they didn't have the foil system, and now when Gen 2 started, they were like they added this foil system, and then they reprinted Gen 1, so now you can even do like the Gen 1 foils as well. So
Yeah,
like
and
you
to give
said,
just quick background, to get the foil 150, you need to get all the rare, epic, legendary, and mythic foils, which can be found in starter packs and boosters. The starter pack, the last card is always a foil of a rare, epic, legendary, mythic. The booster, 33% chance the last card's a foil of a rare, epic, legendary, mythic. And then you also have to get the common and uncommon foils, which is the harder part. Can only be found in starters. It's the last slot of the magic or creature, and there's a 10% chance out of each starter. Um, and the hardest ones to get are the uncommons because we don't know the exact ratios, but if you get, let's just call it for every 4 commons there's 1 uncommon. Um,
right?
so if that's 20% of the common cards are uncommons, that means the foil ratio applies to that as well. So it's even, it's like 2.5%. That's gonna be or 2%, and you got to find all those.
Not good
So
odds. Yeah, not good odds.
no, not good odds. But there's Dustin's close, you're close, Casey's somewhere, and I think that's it. But anyway, so that's the foil 150. Casey did the regular 450, which is not even a category. There's no prize for it. It's just bragging rights, I guess, which is the play set of every single card in the generation. So he's done the 450 for Gen 1. He's a card or two off from the 450 from Gen 2.
Right.
Doesn't have to be foiled. Just he's a crazy person who wants to keep
Crazy
playing that
commitment.
stuff.
That's the real Ward commitment. If you really want to be the Ward guy, you definitely got to get the 450 of
Yeah,
both
he's
generations.
got it. And then the foil 450 is doing that, but a play set of foils. Um,
Yeah, come on, Billy, the
I and
ultimate
I
achievement.
know, yeah, I suppose.
That's like
I
when you play a video game and the achievement is like only like 1.1% of people have achieved it. You're just like, yeah, I'm that guy.
aside from like how much money you would have to dump in
Oh,
to get it,
jeez, yeah. Let's not
to
talk
get the
about that.
450, I just think there's going to be some people who are going to pull the card you need, and you're going to be like, hey man, I'm one away from my play set of foil demonic turtles or foil creator's gift or whatever you want to call it. Foil, you wanted to do the Gen 1. So
Yeah, I hit. Well,
foil
It's not
assassin,
that I wanted to do. Wait. It's not that I wanted to do the Gen 1. It's the fact that I hit a foil creator, and I was like, well, I hit the foil creator. I might as well do
Yes,
this.
man. No, not as much as well. No, it's the other way around. If you hit like a play set of like the uncommons, maybe you can think about it. But
Okay. Well, yeah, the
I
450.
don't
I'm just
know.
talking about the 150, but yeah, the 450 for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so foil four. Yeah, I just think there's going to be some people who pull like their favorite cards and foil, and they're going to say, "No, I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
trading for it." Which
I'm
you need to trade. You can't pull it.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely want to trade. I mean, dude, yeah, you unless you have infinite money, then you can. But I would not
Well,
recommend
I
that
mean,
even if you have infinite
Think about
money.
it. You're going to run into so many scenarios like you did, where it's like, "Oh, you have a foil attack beacon. I'd love to trade for that." Yeah, okay, and they just run off.
Yeah,
You
wow,
can't do anything
it's
about
like that
that.
happened to me. Yeah, no, exactly. Or the yours is like you said,
Our
and like
ears as well. We're just like, no, it's
well,
favorite card. I won't trade
like
it.
you said, and a lot of people that want to hang on to them because I get it. It's like that was their first card that they pulled, and then they it's like it was their first foil or legendary or whatever, and like you said, it has some meaning to them, just sentimental value too for being like
Yeah,
this is my start to Ward, and like that's just the rough thing about being a creator, or like a collector is just like that is the case. It's just like that thought where it's just like some kid goes to the ward booth, buys the ward pack, hits those cards you might need, and then it's like they just bring them home, and it's just like they might never touch ward ever again, and then it's like, well, now those cards might just be destroyed or sitting on somebody's floor or in a box somewhere, and whatever, and just never get
yeah.
found. So
I'll couple it. So the foil 450 is not possible. I don't think the legacy 150 is possible either.
mm,
There the cards do exist. They're not getting traded, and they're honestly maybe some of the cards don't even exist anymore. I mean, like pretend
yeah.
there's I don't know, pretend there's like some random legendary. There's only two in the wild, and if the two people who had it don't play anymore or just lost their cards or just we don't know where they are, like you're not getting it. So
We're going deep down the collector side award here, but yeah, what Billy's
yeah, we
referring to
are
is Legacy. Legacy was the Gen 1 Legacy cards that were made
alpha
that
release.
yeah,
Yeah,
so they aren't even these aren't even sold anymore, and so like what Billy's saying is like yeah, like if people are trying to chase it now, it's almost like a fool's errand because like most of the people that have them are probably not going to give them to you for cheap or at all in general, and so it's like yeah, I unfortunately as a collector sometimes you just have to wait until some people are just like here I'm ready to call it and give it, otherwise it's like how else are you ever going to hit
well,
those
I
kind of
mean,
things.
you got to even find them to begin with, right?
Right.
I know a lot of the people who would have them, and I can't tell you we're all 27 legendaries from Gen 1 Legacy are. I know where half of them are, you know?
Right. Well, like you said, I think it is a hot take. I can't really combat you because no one's even relatively close to 450. So you know what? At this point, Billy, I'll give it to you. It's I don't know if it's a hot take, but I do agree with you. It's probably pretty. It's a very hard achievement to achieve, and if someone does, I'm sure it will definitely take them quite a bit of time. I mean, heck, the 150 foil for me, it's like you said, we kind of joke about. I'm like 7 cards away or 8 or whatever, and it's just like. Yeah, even that, I don't know. It's kind of a waiting game of whenever one becomes available that I can get my hands on.
The irresponsible part of the take is that it's impossible. I'm saying it's not possible at all.
Which I would have to disagree with you. I think at some point we'll see how the foils go and how long they run the sets for to like get cards. But I do.
So that's the other part. You don't know when they're going to stop printing.
Right, and that's obviously the biggest challenge, and then trying to find them after that point. And so I agree with you, but I think with that we kind of went a little long on that discussion with that. So It's like no, it's all good. Like I said, it's all good information. I'm sure we haven't really talked about it, on any other episode. So it's like I kind of like the fact that Irresponsible Takes went down that direction. But again, leave it in the comments. Do you agree with all of us or disagree with our hot takes, or maybe, our takes, like Billy said, aren't so hot? It's always fun to have the discussion. And so, again, also like, subscribe, follow, do all those things, promote it, support us. With that, though, Billy, I think we're going to have to wrap it up here. Any final thoughts of Ward at the moment?
Nope. They did announce on Facebook that there is a upcoming Gen 3 playtest for 150 clubbers. So if you're close or thinking about it, not a bad time to jump in. You might get an invitation to the Gen 3 playtest.
But Billy says jump in. He means, try to rush your butt off to finish your 150.
Hey, 150 I think the community on Discord is very helping in trying to get people there. So
yeah, I totally agree too. I was just kind of making a joke there, but yeah, you're right. It is kind of cool that the ward staff does these little things that, like you said, they really like give support to all the people that have been putting a lot of their energy and their effort and commitment into ward. And so it's nice to see that they do have little things that kind of like give back to the ward community. I mean, they already give so much to it that it's just like everything else is it just feels amazing when it's just like, yeah, these are the people running our game. They love throwing in little Easter eggs. They love doing these little card promos for their tourneys and events and things. I don't know. It's just they're just all over the place, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see how much they're willing to give to just make this experience just so wholesome and great. And so I agree with you, Billy. And with that, I honestly don't have too much to say. I think we kind of covered we covered a lot here. So with that, guys, episode 28 WWB. We'll see you next week. Take her easy.
Peace.